Hey, you guys. Hi, you guys. Let's work out the kinks real quick. I see some of y'all are in here. Look, y'all, I got a new microphone. Can you hear me? Tell me if I sound clear, you guys. For the people who are in here, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Tell me if you can hear me. Okay, you guys, we're in here. We are in here. I am 5 minutes early to make sure that all the audio, I can go live working. Right? Let me put everything on airplane mode. Okay, if you're in here, can you hear me? You literally don't have to say anything else. Hold on. Hold on. I guess you can't be on airplane mode. Okay, here we go. I tried to put it on airplane mode, but I guess you can't. Never mind. If you're in here, look, I'm 4 minutes. 4 minutes. I'm waiting to see something pop up in the chat real quick. Y'all can hear me? Yep, you're clear. Do I sound crystal clear? Am I kind of clear? Look, I got a mic on. We in here like I'm on the news station, baby. Reporting live from. Sure, I'm connected to the Wi-Fi, you guys. I'm here. It's shaky. I got 3 minutes. How is everybody? Crystal clear. Y'all said I'm crystal clear. I got the new microphone to make it, that looks kind of corny, but that's okay. We'll be all right. 3 minutes to go. I came on here a little early. Hello from New York, the Affiliate Marketing Express. You're the best. You're always on here. Always. You'll tell me if I sound clear. There's no echo. You can see me. I'm so weird. Hey, you guys, tell me where you're from. I always like to know. So we got 3 minutes. Yeah, good. I came on here live. Where y'all from? Don't worry, I won't make you talk. I see you. Tennessee, that's right. I see you. D. It's always the recurring. I would say, is anybody new? But I see it's everybody who's always, look, audio is great because y'all, I got a new mic. Look at this. Like I'm on Action News 5 reporting live from Memphis, Oklahoma. Okay, Oklahoma. Y'all are from everywhere. So much is going on right now in real estate, right? So much. Have y'all seen these interest rates? Like we seen it like 8.5%. Have y'all noticed that? If you're in real estate and you got clients, you better hope there. If you are buying a house right now, you better ask them to check the rates. Like if you are house hunting and you have not nailed down a house, you probably want to talk to your lender and see what that mortgage payment is looking like, because y'all know rates went up this week. Rates went up this week. So Oklahoma, Tennessee, New York. Y'all, today was auction day. I posted about this. It was auction day a lot of places. Arizona. I don't know if y'all saw the short that I put up. We got 1 minute. I'm just kind of talking. And a nice house in Arizona went up for auction today. I wish I could put it like on the screen so y'all could see it, but I can't. And they just bought it in 2020, right? Just bought the house in 2020 for $200,000. It's worth $300,000. Today, the opening bid was $12,000, right? $12,000. Now, ordinarily, you would think that was a great deal. Yeah, you saw it. Yeah. That sounds like a great deal ordinarily. Like you're getting a house for $12,000. It's worth $300,000. No, you got to know. I've talked about this before. When you go to the auction, you could buy a second lien at the auction. That's why you always have to do a title search, right? Always. My 2 disclaimers when you go to the auction: you've got to drive by the property and you've got to do a title search, right? Always. So I don't know for sure, but I know if somebody bought a property and the original owners just bought it for $200,000 3 years ago, that opening bid should have been much higher than $12,000. So if you ask me, that sounds like a second lien, right? That sounds like a HELOC that they didn't pay that went up for foreclosure. So, and the opening bid was 12,000 and it sold for 30,000, which is another red flag for me, because if it was really worth $300,000 at any other auction, they would have bid it up higher than that. Like it would have been up at least 100,000 if it was truly the first lien and all that. Does that make sense to y'all? Are y'all with me on that? Okay, it's 8 o'clock, you guys. 8 o'clock. I was just talking. If you all noticed, I got a new microphone. It looks like one of those things like, never mind, I'm not going to say that. I don't want to offend anybody. But I was going to say it looks like one of those things like, in your neck where if you smoked, you know what I mean? But never mind. Never mind. It's a mic. That's what it is. Hopefully I'm crystal clear. What is the benefit of selling off the second lien? Just so the lien, okay, so at the auction, the liens, what am I trying to say? The lien holder is trying to get paid, right? That's the whole point. Like you've defaulted on it. They're trying to sell it and make some money, right? So that lien holder got paid, right? Because it's not always the primary mortgage that goes up to the auction, goes up for auction. That's who you want to buy. That's the one you buy, the primary lien. But I've seen like Chase credit card go up for auction, right? It's just the lien holder that auctions off the properties. If the main loan was bought by Wells Fargo, if you're just coming in, I'll recap. Let me say this. When you go up for auction, and people always ask, like, what's the difference between a first lien and a second lien? Let me rewind, and then I'll do an introduction, you guys, because I see y'all coming in, and you're coming in the middle of this story, and you're like, Ashley, never mind. Hey, you guys, I'm Ashley. Let me get that out the way before I start talking, okay? And yes, tell me where y'all are from. Tell me where y'all are from. I want to hear that. But anyway, I'm Ashley Pickens. I'm here in Memphis, Tennessee. You guys, I've been in real estate since 2006. 2006, you guys. I've been in real estate. 2006 as a real estate agent. Then I became a real estate broker over a firm, like over 30 agents. And then the last 5 years, I've been like an auctioneer, you guys. I auction. I think that's where everybody found me, because I auction off foreclosures at the courthouse. So that is my rundown. I love to know where everybody is from. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you, I always say this, I'm not going to make you turn to your neighbor or do this. I just ask y'all where you're from, and that's all I want to know. My dog Rex, I see you in Florida. Glad to have you here. We talked about this. If the lien holder is not recorded in the county records, it's not, valid. It's not valid. And they've got to be listed on that public notice. Raleigh, I see you, Raleigh, North Carolina. Y'all are on the list for foreclosures too in September. Y'all got a good amount of foreclosures I see coming down the pipe. Okay, so let me go back. I did my introduction. Tell me where you're from if you want to. Okay, so today, let me rewind. I posted a video on, I posted a video on Instagram, all across the show platforms. Auction day in Phoenix. House goes up for auction today, right? Built in 2019. It sold in 2020 for $200,000. Okay, follow me. Sold 3 years ago for $200,000. Georgia, I see you. Sold for $200,000. It is now worth $300,000. Okay, 2020 $200,000. Today $300,000. The opening bid at auction today was $12,000. $12,000. Now, to most people, you'd be like, that's a great deal, right? $12,000, property worth $300,000. That's a steal, right? Now, okay, cool. Let me explain to everybody else who just jumped in. Pennsylvania, New York, I see you guys. Everybody, West Coast, East Coast, Dirty South, we here. So what I was saying, opening bid, $12,000. To most people, that would be a steal. To people who go to the auction frequently, once you see that they bought it for $200,000 3 years ago, understand that the opening bid is the loan amount. Usually what's left on that loan. What's up, Texas? What's up? Is the loan amount. So if they just bought that property in 2020 for $200,000, they still owe that whole loan, right? They still owe that whole loan. So the opening bid should have been higher than $12,000. So me seeing a $12,000 opening bid lets me know 9 times out of 10, that is a second lien. That is not their primary mortgage, right? Now, everybody follow me, or do I need to go back to first lien, second lien? I will explain all of that. Kara, I see you. Kara from New York, I see you. So I think that since they bought the house for $200,000 in 2020, it is now worth $300,000. I need to explain first lien and second lien, or y'all understand? This is my first lien, second lien demonstration. I'll put a 1 on this hand and a 2 on this hand. I think that they probably got a HELOC, right? And probably pulled like $10,000 out of a HELOC. That means you can borrow against your equity, right? And they've got equity. They paid $200. It's now worth $300. They've got like $100,000 worth of equity. So they might have borrowed $10,000, right? And now with interest, it's probably $12,000. Now keep in mind, when you get a HELOC, when you buy a house, you have your first mortgage. That's the mortgage that you take your picture with your real estate agent, and you say, sold, closed, I got the keys to my house. That's your first loan. That's the primary loan, okay? When you take some equity out of your house and get a HELOC, that's a second loan. That's a second mortgage. 2 different payments. You make 2 mortgage payments each month, okay? So a lot of what it seems like is they're probably paying that first mortgage, but if they were not paying the second one, the second mortgage can foreclose on them, okay? Just like anybody else. You don't want to buy this second mortgage at the auction. I don't care how cheap it is, nothing. You can't do anything with that property if you buy the second lien. If I'm making sense, am I making sense, Ashley, or no? Slow down. Tell me again. Because why can't you do anything? Because this first lien is still in priority. It's still in play, right? So they bought this house for $300,000, but it's a $200,000 lien sitting in front of it that's got to be paid before they can do anything with this ownership, if that makes sense to everybody. You don't buy the second lien at auctions, okay? You only buy the lien in first position. Is everybody clear on that? If y'all are clear, okay. If not, I will make it a little bit clearer. But so my point is, today when that property went up for auction for $12,000, to me, that was a red flag. Red flag, that sounds like a second lien, because they should have owed that whole mortgage, right? They just bought it 3 years ago. And that lien, okay, so opening bid was $12,000. It sold for $30,000. Now, I have heard of people who buy second liens. I have no idea what their strategy is. No idea. Unless it's, I'm trying to think what their strategy is. Unless they put like a lien back on the house, and then if whoever gets the first one in order to sell it, that one's got to be, now they got to be paid. I don't know, you guys. I don't know the strategy of why people buy second liens and not the first lien. I don't know. If y'all know, tell me. If you know somebody who does that strategy, it just doesn't work. I just don't know. But like I say, you guys, before you go to the auction, what would the minimum bid be on a house like that? It was $12,000 was the opening bid. $12,000. I think it was $12,044. Y'all, if I was like on Zoom, I could put the house up. It was a nice house, right? In Arizona, super nice house. When y'all get on here, go look at I did it on YouTube, a YouTube short and Instagram. Nice house, worth $300,000. No, it didn't go back. It sold for 30. They bid it up. They bid the second lien up. $12,000 was the opening bid. It sold for $30,000 is what I'm saying. They bought a second lien at the auction for $30,000 that they can't do anything with. is my whole point, you guys. Yeah, yeah. I know people, I know that some investor strategies to buy second liens, but I have no idea what it is, right? I don't know what the end game is. So, like I always say, I don't get up at the auction and say, okay, you guys, I'm about to auction off the second lien. I don't say that. I just read the notice and I open the bids up. You've got to look at the title before you bid at the auction. Theo in Connecticut, Northeast. I see you. Yeah, I don't know but if you don't know, you guys, like if you go to the auction, so I can imagine like somebody calls their friend, it's like, it's a house going up, super nice house worth $300,000. Opening bid is 12,000. Let's get it. Right? If you don't know, you're like, okay, that sounds like a steal. $12,000. I looked it up. I drove by it. It's still there. Opening bid is $12,000. We can get this. Right? If you don't understand that there's some due diligence that goes with buying at the auction, right? Like I said, to the average person, that sounds like a great deal. Let's jump on it, not knowing that you just threw away $30,000. And that also makes me think, like, for the bid to stop at 30,000, right? Typically, if a property is worth $300,000, typically at auction, it's going to get bid up. Like, it's going to get bid up to at least $100,000. Period. Depending on who's bidding, it's going to get bid up. It stopped at 30,000. So I don't know if it was like, hold on, this don't seem right. Because if you go to the auction and it's a great property, profit margin is huge, right? And there is nobody there to bid on it, and it's usually a lot of bidders, that is a red flag. Something is wrong with that property. Because most people would have been all on top of that property if it was legit, right? If it was actually 12, everybody would have been on that property. In Arizona, like y'all got some big investors in Arizona, right? Y'all got some money in Arizona. That's a red flag if nobody's bidding. And it was probably some bidders there. They were just standing back looking. I've seen that happen. Seasoned veteran bidders will let you bid on a second lien and not say anything to you. They will just let you they will just let you buy it. You got to do your due diligence before you go to the auction, you guys. Yes, if you're not, absolutely. So what happens next for them? They can't move in. Right. So I said, a lady called me probably a week and a half ago, right? And she got one of my letters. She called me back and she was behind on her HELOC. She was behind on that second mortgage. They live in the house because she said, we're paying our primary mortgage on time. It's the HELOC that we got behind on. Yeah, people live in that house. They paying their primary mortgage. You know what I mean? It's kind of like one of those things. I'm going to make sure I got a roof over my head, but all these other bills, they're going to get paid when they get paid, right? So I guess that's kind of how people deal with that second mortgage. So yeah, people are still in. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what the play is to buy a second lien. I'm sure people still live in that house. You got to do your due diligence, you guys. Before you go to the auction, if you don't hear anything else I say, drive by that property and check the title. Two things. If you don't do anything else, drive by and check the title, because you can buy a piece of dirt at the auction, right? If that property's been condemned, I don't get up there and I don't drive by the properties before I auction them off, you guys. I have no idea. When people ask me, Ashley, is it occupied? I have no idea, you guys. I don't drive by them. I don't know. I don't know if the property is even still there when I auction it off. That's for y'all to figure out the due diligence. You got to drive by it and you got to look at that title. Okay? Those are the two most important things you have to do when you go to auction. And I mean, you got to estimate repairs. But keep in mind, you can't estimate repairs because you probably can't see the inside of that property. But don't, right? Because auction properties, you usually can't see the inside of them. So you're bidding blind, basically. You've got to guesstimate your repairs and set your budget and bring your budget with you when you come to the auction. I mean, we just living on the wild side at the auction. This is the high risk side. High risk, high reward at the auction, right? Hi. If auctions were honest, the abstract would be posted. You know, you got to do your due diligence. You got to do your due diligence, my dog Rex. Auction.com, depending on the property, they'll put the title, record. If you go down auction.com, depending, they'll put that title record on there for you to look at, right? But it is definitely a risky business. That's what I tell everybody. When everybody's like, I do foreclosures. People are like, I want to come see you. I want a foreclosure. And I'm like, yeah, you don't really want to come see me. You want an REO property is what you really want. You want a property that the bank has already, you want a property that I couldn't sell and reverted back to the bank. And now the title is clear. You can go inside of it. You can get an inspection, all that. That's what most people want. They want an REO. Auctions, that's not for the faint of heart. That is not. You got to do some research. Now, it's some great deals, right? Like, you got great deals at the auction. You just have to do your homework before you come see me, right? I've auctioned off legit $500 properties, and it was the first lien. $500 it was a small house, of course, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, $500, literally, right? So there are some great deals at the auction. You just got to do your homework. You got to do your research, okay? So I would not, you got to do your research, you guys. And if you're thinking about going, I have an auction course, you guys. I explain everything. I teach you how to do a title search, because you got to do it. Because if not, you're going to have to pay somebody, right? You'd have to, that can be very pricey if you paid somebody to do a title search on every single property you wanted at the auction. That could be expensive. And then you don't even know buy them. You know what I mean? That could be pricey. REOs are great, but I do not know how to do or get it. I did a whole master class on that like last week. Who was in the master class last week? REO versus auction. It is still posted. Farfana. I think I'm trying to make sure I say it right. It's still posted. It's under my lives. Go. It says REO versus auction live masterclass. But REOs, that's homepath.com, HUDhomestore.com, homesteps.com. VA has a REO website you can go to and buy properties off of those. Thank you, JT, for being there. Those are some websites that have REO properties, right? Again, HUD Home Store, HUD, HUD runs it. These are government REO sites. HUD Home Store, homepath.com, homesteps.com, and the VA has a REO website too. Okay. Thank you, my dog Rex. Thank you, Theo. I'm so glad I tried. Y'all know next November's masterclass is going to be on tax sales, right? Y'all hound the sugar honey iced tea out of me about tax sales, you guys. Y'all ask me about that all the time. Tax sales, Ashley, do you do tax sales? I'm going to do a masterclass on it, okay? And I'm going to teach you just like the REO masterclass. I'm going to tell you everything about them, where to find them, how to buy them, boom, okay? You're welcome. And REO properties, you can use financing. Somebody commented today on one of my videos, one of my previous videos, and was like, so you're telling me that everybody basically at the auction has like $50,000 cash on them? And I'm like, well, maybe not cash, but certified funds. Yes. And usually it's more than that, depending on what the opening bid is, right? Some people just, so yes, REO properties, right, more than that. REO properties, you can use traditional financing if you don't have that liquid cash. You can get a conventional loan, depending on the condition of it. If it's in good condition, you probably can go FHA. You can go VA. Like, you can do traditional financing, which opens up the door to more people, right? That, gives everybody an opportunity, you know? So, um, yeah, yeah, stop. Be nice. She didn't know. I mean, I've literally had people at the auction, right? I'll be standing there, auction off 3 properties. I remember this. Auctioned off properties. It was a guy standing there. He comes up to me after I've auctioned off these properties, and he's like, "So what's the deposit?" And I was like, "There is no deposit." And he was like, I said, "No, you have to have the complete amount in certified funds as soon as the auction is over." And he was like, "Ain't nobody got that kind of money to be paying." I think that's what he said. "Ain't nobody got that kind of money um, to be buying a house." I was like, "First of all, sir, I'm not going to argue with you at the courthouse, and you literally just saw me auction off 3 properties, right? And it's not like I just made up all of a sudden when you walked up here that, oh my gosh, now all of a sudden you've got to pay in full. The other 3 houses that I auctioned off, I let them use a deposit." Sir, he was like, "Ain't nobody got that kind of money." Okay. I'm not going to argue with you at the courthouse. So they do. Trust me. They have liquid funds, and that's, but that takes time, right? Don't get discouraged because maybe you don't have 50K or 20K. You might not even have $20, right? You might not even have that right now. But this is the time to start preparing, right? This is why I'm always on here trying to educate people and tell you to get ready. This is the time to get ready. This is not the time to blow your budget for Christmas, right? This is not that time. Even though they want you to believe that it's that time, right? This is not. Get your credit together, do your research, go to an auction. Like I tell y'all to go to auctions. They're open to the public. Just go. Just don't bid, right? Go see what it's like. This is the time you prepare. So when the sky falls out, then you'll be ready, right? At least get your credit in order. Like I said, REOs. You can use financing with those, right? Like, everybody started from somewhere. Even my big, huge investors, they started from somewhere, right? So that's my TED talk. That's my little motivation for tonight. Yeah, thank you. That's right. And the accelerator, I tell you where to go. Thank you, Dee. That's right. Y'all, all my links to all my courses are in the down below. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. I hope everybody, y'all have any questions? Because, I can keep going on what's going on in the news right now, right? So did you see? I act like y'all are like my best friends, right? So did you see? Let me pull it up. Let me put up the article. First of all, y'all need to get on dailyjobcuts.com. Dailyjobcuts.com. I know I'm late to that, but now I'm early. Now I'm on time, right? Daily Job Cuts. Let me pull this up. Did y'all see Jerome's speech this week? Jerome had another speech this week. He was on a panel at, it wasn't Yale, but it was one of those Brown. It was a business school, y'all. What it was like the big high, and the big business schools. He was there, right? Jerome. Y'all know Jerome. Feds, Jerome Powell, who raised the rates. Y'all know what I'm saying. Jerome. This week, y'all, first of all, let me say, when they announced Jerome was going to speak, y'all, protesters, I guess they were camped out on the front row, erupted, right? I mean, they got up, they were yelling like Jerome Powell. It lasted like 15 minutes, you guys. Protesters. And then finally, Jerome got up and started talking, right? He didn't say anything about cutting rates. I'll just let you know that. I watched it. He didn't say anything about cutting rates. So when people start announcing that, that's not true. It's good to see that the National Association of Realtors has stopped pushing buy now, refinance later. I'm glad to see that, because it does not look like rates are going down. Kara, I know you're watching me. I don't know if you're still in the hunt to buy a house, but anybody, I said this at the beginning, anybody with a pre-approval letter right now, and you are house hunting, right? Be very mindful that 9 times out of 10, the rate that you have on your pre-approval is probably not the current rate. Understand that you don't get locked into a rate until you have a contract on a house, right? So if it takes you 3, 4, 5 months to find a property, that interest rate that they initially approved you with, right, has probably changed. And even if you do have a contract on a house, if your lender has not locked you in yet, right, you don't you're not locked in, right? So rates went up this week, right? I saw somebody posted in a real estate group that their client had a 7.5 interest rate, right? Lender told them, sent them some information, said they were locked in, right? I guess that morning. This afternoon, the lender called them back and said they made a mistake. I guess they didn't check the right box and they were not locked in, and their new rate is at 8.2. I was like, ooh, wait. So until you get locked in on your rate, you ain't locked in, is what I'm saying. And just because your pre-approval says you at a 7.6, that means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, you can buy it down, but please understand the price to buy down points is ridiculous. Now you can extend a rate lock. Like if you're locked in and they do like extended rate locks. I'm all over the place. If you're building a house, right? And it takes a little longer until you close, you can get your rate extended, right? Like if you locked in at a 7 and you want to keep that 7, but it costs. Nothing is free. Nothing is free. They will charge you by the day as long as you keep that rate lock. Okay? Everybody understand that. So my point was, and Kara, I remembered you kind of asked me a question on the last one. If you are house hunting and you are not locked in on a property, you might want to check and see what your interest rate is, right? Tell them to run the numbers on your payment. What is your payment looking like at this point? Just FYI, in case your real estate agent has not told you, because rates went up this week. So, yes, D, you're right. So, job cuts, banks are laying off. The banks. Thank you, Eric. He said he doesn't. He said he doesn't what? Doesn't, who we talking about? Who is he? Look, who is he? Jerome? Are we talking about Jerome? We're always talking about Jerome and how people interpret what he says. That's why you got to watch, you guys. Let me say this. I always try to go to the source. I like when Jerome talks, baby, I am glued in, right? Because I know the media is going to manipulate whatever he says and spin it like with a positive tone. You know what I mean? You got to watch what he says. Because again, I've never heard Jerome say we're cutting rates. He's not said that. Like the whole time. And now it's finally like the media is catching up to what he's saying. Because literally, you guys, the whole time he has said, you know, we're gonna raise rates until inflation is down to 2%. The homeowners, not homeowners, but people are gonna feel some pain. And then the media will spin it and say, well, you know, he's probably gonna cut rates, or, you know, they'll go down at the end of the year or something. He has never said that. He's never said that. Now people are catching up and it's like, okay, well, rates are probably going to be higher for longer. Exactly. He's never said he was cutting rates. You know, like that's why I was like, why at the beginning of 2023 are we telling people to buy and then rates are going to be low at the end of the year? He never said that. You know, but if you don't watch and pay attention, you're just going to believe whatever you hear. And agents are just like, not all of them, but most of them are just like talking heads, right? You know what I mean? You just repeat what you hear. Jerome has never said he was cutting rates. He literally said If you're a first-time home buyer, you might want to sit it out for a second so the market can reset. That's what he said. Now, nobody, of course, there's no real estate agent alive except for me who will even repeat that he said that, but he did. So, that's why it's important to listen to the source and not listen to media, because they are going to spin it the way they want to spin it. I can give you another. I said this on another video earlier this week. I said it's mighty funny. If y'all watch my daily videos, I think I said it Monday. I said it's mighty funny how JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, y'all know, #1 bank in the country. It's mighty funny how he's reporting that his numbers are like record-breaking numbers, right? His quarter profit earnings are up. Like when you're watching the stock market, Chase got the green arrow pointing up. Everybody else arrows pointing down, right? I'm like, why is his arrows always I'm like, we all know banks aren't doing good right now, right? Mortgage applications are down. Nobody, let them tell it, nobody got any money. I mean, most people don't like it. Everything's so expensive. I'm like, how is he still reporting these great numbers, right? Y'all, the report came out like today. I'm on here. He's the only one. JP Morgan Chase is literally the only bank that's reporting good numbers. The top 5, he's #1. 2, 3, 4, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, Bank of America, everybody's numbers are down. I'm like, I knew it. I knew it. Like, it doesn't make sense. But there again, that's how the media will spin stuff. Like, you take the one good thing, Chase's numbers are great. The economy is great. Banks are doing great. No, Jamie Dimon and his conglomerate is doing great. Everybody else is about to lay off. Here's an article. Again, daily job cuts. The article is called Big Banks. It's insane to me. Big banks are quietly cutting thousands of employees, quietly laying people off, right? Because we don't want to sound the alarm that we're really in worse shape than what we're saying, right? We still got to have that delusion. Like on The Big Short, right? I think everybody's seen The Big Short. If you have not, you should probably watch it, because I'm always referring back to The Big Short, okay? It's on Netflix. And if you're a new real estate agent, and the only way you can describe what happened in 2008 is by saying mortgage lenders were just approving everybody. If that's the only way you can explain how our market crashed in 2008, go watch The Big Short. I need for you to be a little bit more in depth than that if you have a license, okay? Because anybody can say that. Mortgage lending was super loose then. It was. But there are some other factors that played into that, why our market crashed, okay? But anyway. So the article, which is on CNBC, big banks are quietly cutting thousands of employees and more layoffs are coming. So, even as the economy has surprised forecasters with its resilience, lenders have cut headcount or announced plans to do so, with the key exception being JP Morgan Chase. Of course, Jamie Dimon is the exception. Now, don't get me wrong, right? I have nothing against Jamie. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like one of those, banks do what banks do, right? Banks are in business to make money. That's what he does. When banks collapse, you go to Jamie. If you in trouble, you call him and he gonna buy your bank, right? So, but it says the next 5 largest U.S. banks cut a combined 20,000 positions so far this year, and more are coming. 20,000 jobs. Banks. So, I already knew. I told y'all my bank was laying off. Truist. They said they are reorganizing. And every time I pull up, ain't nobody at the bank. So, 20,000 jobs And it's so funny. They have like a chart where like JP Morgan's arrow is going like this. Citigroup is doing this. Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, and Goldman Sachs. Everybody else is laying off, right? Yes, bonds. Absolutely. So that's why you like, I don't know. You know, when you see one bank that's like, and then everybody else, at least, you guys, at the least, that is like a warning, right? We always get warnings before a storm, right? It's always some signals that something is coming. All these other banks are saying, yo, we having problems. Now, Jamie might not because he owned everything. He has like what? He's got, what is it, 10% of our nation's deposits, which no bank is supposed to have that many of our nation's deposits, right? It's against all the rules. But it just so happens that when banks collapse, he buys them up. You can buy banks once they are insolvent, right? So when First Republic, what was the other one? SVB, when it collapsed, you know, Chase bought them. That's when you can buy a bank. But he's already huge, right? He's already our biggest. It is what it is, right? But all I can say is that I think these are warning signs. These are like cracks in our foundation, letting us know that trouble is definitely ahead. And we all know trouble is ahead, right? We can look. I mean, I hear nurses like talking about getting laid off. Like, we've got 6 million people behind on their rent who have been behind all year. We've got 4 million people behind on their mortgage all year. You know what I mean? Like, I would definitely say there are cracks in the foundation, right? Every time you log into your email, builders are reducing. There are some states, I can't remember, was it like Salt Lake City? I can't remember. One state, when they're talking about price reductions, like 50% of properties are like have a price reduction on it right now. And that's how, you know, that's how the market, I guess they're going to reset the market, because when you start reducing prices, you guys, that's equity too. Think about that too. I always say that, you know, the good thing about real estate is your house is based on the prices of properties around you. The bad thing about real estate is your property value is based on the properties around you. So if everybody starts selling for less, there goes your equity. So everybody who like overpaid the last 2 years, who bid 40, 50, $60,000 over for a property, who waived appraisals and waived inspections and emptied out their 401k in their savings account. And now here we are. Their neighbors are doing price reductions. It's like, you know, that's the good and bad about real estate, honestly, you know. That's why you just don't make rash decisions when it comes to buying a house. It's not like buying a shirt at Target, right? Like, it's just not. You have to be sensible about purchases like this. You have to do your due diligence, you guys. So, I was still reading. Wells Fargo has cut 50,000 employees in the past 3 years. Every time I'm on daily job cuts, it's like Wells Fargo is shutting down a branch. Not that anybody is like, anyway, because we always see Wells Fargo in the news about doing some sketchy stuff. But, and every time I look up, I'm getting an email talking about, come open a checking account. We've got this new loan. Do this. We'll give you $250 if you open up a checking account. So now I see builders are buying down the rate. I saw a couple of flyers that went out, like builders are offering 5.9% for the life of the loan, like if you go with their preferred lender, which I guess isn't a bad deal. You know, when things start getting tough, that means more opportunities, right, for buyers and people in position. That's the whole game plan, you guys. Whole game plan. When things start getting tough, when people, my game plan is, you know, when people start running out, that's when you start running in, right? That's When things get tight, that's when all the incentives start coming out. We'll pay your closing costs. We'll pay your down payment. We'll get a 5.9 interest rate, right? Yep, I'm telling you, I keep seeing mortgage lenders. They're throwing out, that's how you know things are getting shaky though, right? Because they weren't offering nothing. Nothing. That's why you always have to be mindful though, right? There's always a motive behind everything. It's not like we're like, oh, y'all deserve a house with a good rate and an affordable payment. It's like, uh-oh, we got all this land and these houses, and our lender is asking for some payments. What are we going? We got to make something shake, right? Because we all know back in 2008, all those builders went bankrupt. They said that's happening in Florida. Y'all overbuilt in Florida. I heard Austin overbuilt too. Austin and San Antonio. So builders, I mean, if you're in the market for a house and you need to move, you better go negotiate with a builder. Baby, I'm not paying full price for anything. Nothing. I want all the incentives. And I want you to put a fence up around this house, because you know they be charging you for those fences. Put a fence up around this house too. If you're negotiating with a builder, ask for everything. Everything, you guys. Just my bit of advice. Are y'all still with me? We are waiting on foreclosures to hit the market. Still low. I don't think we're going to get the wave this year. We'll see. I think maybe second quarter of next year. And I think foreclosures, like I've said, are going to come in waves, right? They come in waves because we've got, I'm going to put up a post tomorrow. So for perspective, right? So 2019, we foreclosed on 143,000 people, right? 2018, 185,000 people. In a normal real estate market, and I said this a million times. If you've been here before, you've heard me say this. In a normal real estate market, people buy homes, sell homes, and they lose their home. It's just a circle of life, okay? So in a normal market, you guys, 2017, we foreclosed on 200,000 people. 2018, 185,000 people. 2019, 143,000 people. 2020, when COVID hit, we foreclosed on 50,000 people. 2021, 40,000 people. You guys, we got a whole pipeline full of people. Like in 2009, okay, so even for more perspective, 2020, during COVID, there was 214,000 foreclosure filings. Let me make a distinguish between this. Filings are when you get behind on your mortgage, they are going to send a notice of default, right? That's when that lender is telling you, hey, you got 30 days to pay your past due amount or your house is going up for auction. That's a notice of default. That's a filing. When they schedule your auction, that's a filing. And when it goes to auction and it sells, so it's basically repossessed or becomes a REO, that's a filing. Okay, so typically if a property goes through the whole foreclosure process, they'll have 3 filings on their house: that initial filing, the auction scheduled, and the repossession. Got it? Okay, so but keep in mind, at any point in this process, the property can come out of foreclosure, right? A homeowner get that notice that they have 30 days, they'll sell their house. So they don't even make it into foreclosure, right? Or they do a modification and they're not in, or they file bankruptcy, right? So that's a filing, right? But they don't all make it to the REO stage. Everybody with me, right? You're with me. So keep that in mind. So 2020, we had 215,000 foreclosure filings. Properties were in foreclosure. Only 50,000 properties made it to the REO stage. 50,000. 2021, we had 180,000 properties in foreclosure. Only $40,000 40,000 properties made it to REO stage. keep in mind, that's when they put that moratorium on us. 2020, 2021. So there were a ton of properties in the pipe that got saved by this moratorium. We usually foreclose on almost 200,000 people a year. We foreclosed on 40,000 people last year. You guys, it's a whole wave of people who are just not paid. If y'all watch my last video, Louisiana's average foreclosure timeline is 3,000 days. That's how long it's taking the average property in Louisiana to foreclose. 3,000 days. Y'all, that's like a decade. I mean, how many years is that? Right? So that lets you know how these people ain't paid. And it's just some people literally who've just not paid in 3 years. Right? Like, so my point is, to you, we're all, trust me, everybody's waiting on the sky to fall out. We'll just see if they just continue to kick the can and it's election year next year. You know, I heard Jerome said at his conference, he said, when they were talking about banks that were struggling, he said they set up a fund for banks that seem to be a little shaky, you know, that banks can go to and borrow from. I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know, like First Republic and Silicon Valley Bank. He was like, we've identified some other banks that might have been in trouble, and we set up a fund that they can get money from. So I guess they got something in place for some of the banks, right? So what was I saying? Oh yeah, foreclosure wave, right? So you got those people. Then you have people who are struggling to hold on because they were promised that they could buy now and refinance later, right? I give y'all those numbers all the time. 84% of people said that they were promised that they could refinance, and rates have not gone down. You guys, rates have not gone down. Also, adjustable rate mortgages are up. Have y'all seen that? Adjustable rate mortgages are up. Only because, you know, they offer like a lower interest rate in the beginning for the first couple of years, and then adjustable rate mortgages are up, you guys. So I don't know. All I'm saying is the atmosphere is conducive for people to make some, you know, good investments in the future. That's all I can say. That the window of opportunity is probably going to be up again. And the people that are ready are probably going to make some money. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I can say. Is that everybody's plan? What are y'all thinking? I know most people are waiting for foreclosures. They're coming. We just don't know when they're coming, right? Don't know. That's my plan. That's my retirement plan, you guys. I'm self-employed. I'm 1099. They said we'll be out of Social Security by what, 2030? I mean, that's not really a good retirement plan anyway. It's to depend on somebody else to kind of take care of you, right? That's not a really good plan. You got to save yourself. You know, ain't nobody coming to save you, right? And I mean, in Social Security, like, yeah, I'm trying to live good when I'm retired. Like, don't send me no check for like $350. Like, that's not going to even support me, right? So you got to have a plan, right? But it's not like you just wake up and you're going to have $1 million in your bank, right? You got to have a plan and a strategy to get to where you want to get to, right? So my strategy is real estate. I plan on buying properties. Like I said, I was 21 when the market crashed the last time, right? So I wasn't able to really cash in like a lot of people who were ready. But this time, you guys, I'm not missing it. I'm not missing it. And the government went to Jamie to get him to acquire. Yeah, Jamie said, let Jamie tell it. He was the first call they made. Now, keep in mind, they did like an auction for First Republic, Silicon Valley. It was supposed to be different banks were supposed to be able to bid and get First Republic, right? That's what they said. However, Jamie won the bid, but let him tell it. He said he was the first phone call that was made when the bank was collapsing. So that's all I'm saying. Don't thank you. You always have such wise advice, my dog Rex. Thank you. I will not buy on a north facing slope. Please share any more of your wisdom with us. It's appreciated. Okay, hold on. Make 28,000 jobs, but it's funny that the unemployment report came in this week and it dropped to fewer people. Yeah, I don't believe any report that comes out. I literally don't believe any report that comes out because I think it's always like I don't even believe the numbers that say 4 million people haven't paid their mortgage. I think that number is closer to 10 million. I don't believe the number that says 6 million people have not paid their rent. I think that number is closer to 10 too. I don't believe that unemployment rate is, is great. Everybody's working, everybody's making plenty of money. You guys, I mean, us down here, like people have like 3 and 4 jobs, right? 3 and 4 part-time jobs. Everybody's like cutting back. Credit cards are maxed out. Y'all, I got my email 2 days ago from Sally Mae telling me that my student loan payment was due. I'm not sure what it said because I really didn't open it up. But the subject was like, get ready to pay your student loan something is what it said. I didn't even open it up. So, I mean, but that's everybody's reality, right? Like, I think they just make up numbers, right? And I don't know if that's to keep people from panicking or I know it's to keep people spending, right? If you hear that everything's good, people are spending, you're like, okay, well, everything's good. I'll keep spending. I don't know, like, but I don't believe any of those numbers. I don't believe unemployment numbers. I don't like well, they probably are doing good at their bank. I don't believe any of those things, right? Yeah, yellow freight, that was like the worst. That was the worst. That just shows you like you have to. I was reading his comment, yellow freight went bankrupt, 30,000 people out of work. Y'all, that was the worst. I saw the videos. I think we all saw the videos of when they laid those people. You guys, it just shows you I've been self-employed for a long time, a decade at least, right? Because I know these jobs aren't loyal, right? You just look at what happened in the crash in 2008. Like the banks got bailouts. Those people got on their private planes and 3 million people lost their houses, right? And I'm sure they haven't missed a night of sleep, right? Just understand that jobs are in business to make money. Like they don't care, right? If you say you can get a bonus or you got to lay off 5 people, what are most employers going to say? They're going to be like, I can name all 5 people right now. I can name 7 if you want me to, right? Self-preservation, you guys, self-preservation. Like you've got to always look out for yourself. I always advocate for. I'm like, I'm not loyal to. Well, of course I'm not. Don't be loyal to any job, right? Because they're not going to be loyal to you, right? If it's between them getting a bonus and you keeping your job is going to be gone. Can you name 5 people? You get a bonus or you got to lay off 5 people. They're going to be like Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and Jesus. Jesus is on the list. Like they don't. And like that's why I say I don't believe in numbers. Like in 2008, everything was fine, right? There's of course people who were trying to ring the alarm like it's not good. All these defaulted notes, these aren't good, right? It's a problem. But nobody listened to those people, right? It's like me, right? Nobody listened to you until the whole sky crashes, right? And even if you watch The Big Short, I always talk about this. If you watch The Big Short, they were like, why aren't the numbers showing what's going on, right? Like, why are stocks and everything still showing good, right? And the market is collapsing. And y'all, baby, Everybody can be boss. Like, everybody. I think there was the lady in The Big Short. And they even went to her and they were like, you're still giving these, I think it was like, you're still giving these credit swaps like positive ratings. And you know these are bad loans. Like, why are you still? And she was like, they pay me, right? They pay me to make these numbers look good. I believe that, right? Like, I could see the banks being like, yo, no, yellow truck, and I'm sure probably they had probably a little 5-year anniversary potluck meeting. Everybody had pizza on Friday. We appreciate you. You guys, best team. Boom, Monday morning, we filing bankruptcy. Y'all knew y'all was filing bankruptcy. Like stop, right? But we can't expect jobs to be loyal to us, right? That's not, I mean, that's not what they're in business for. They're in business to make money. So that's what I think. That's what I think when I watch these banks in the news. I'm like, y'all, you know, the earnings are up. How easy is it for you to send some numbers over and manipulate some numbers and be like, we're doing good. Earnings are good. Nobody announces. Okay, maybe First Republic, Silicon Valley Bank. I think they announced, like, they sent out an email like the week before, letting people know like their deposits. Remember, like it was like a week before. Y'all knew way before, a week before, y'all didn't have money, right? So it's usually like, it's got to be like the last minute while the ship is sinking is when people will let you know. But up until then, pink starburst, unicorn, everything is good, blue skies. Like, I'm like, you can't make me believe. That's why I was like, you can't make me believe that these banks are doing as good as they say they're doing. I know they're not. And then here comes the article today. The only bank doing good is JP Morgan Chase. Everybody else, numbers are down. Right. We knew this. Okay, you guys, you know I can ramble. Close to 7 million job openings. And you know, it's probably like part-time jobs that don't nobody want, right? Like somebody with a family can't go work for $7.35. Or I heard they put part-time jobs in those numbers, right? It's not like full-time benefit kind of jobs. It's ones that can't even, you know, you can, like when you're 18, you go get that kind of job, right? It's not enough to support a household, but they group all those numbers in together and they package it up and show it to us like everything's fine. Everything's fine. Unemployment is down. There's plenty of jobs. Consumers have money. The housing market, what was it the other day? Somebody was like, FHA loans are up. I'm like, that is a lie. Nobody believes. All mortgage, nobody is applying for loans right now. I mean, it might be a few, but the numbers aren't. Stop. You know what I mean? Stop. When the firing is up, we know the time is up. Look, all I'm saying, save yourself. Right? I was a flight attendant, right? The saying is like, you got to put your mask on before you save somebody else. Don't be loyal to any of these jobs, right? And have your own plan. Don't depend on retirement, because then I mean, they lost their everything, like their pension and all that, right? Like their retirement. And you've been working there 30 years. They don't give up. Y'all know what I'm saying. But I bet like the CEOs and everybody, I think they cashed out their stock before they filed bankruptcy. That's what I'm saying. You got to save yourself. You got to save yourself. So my point is, real estate. Real estate is my retirement plan, right? That's the plan. I watch the market. That's the plan. And that's how I formed like the mentorship for people who, I mean, I have new investors, right? So one of my mentees went to the auction. She had her $50,000, y'all. She had her $50,000. And she said the opening bid was $27,000. She's in Atlanta. Opening bid was $27,000. She had her $50,000, thinking she was gonna get the house. First bidder was like $60,000, and she was like, Ashley, they blew me out the water with the first one. She was like, I can't, like, Ashley, you know, I'm like, I get it. Why don't you, go going directly to the source. That's where I've gotten a lot of my properties from, a lot of my clients' properties from, is going directly to the homeowners to try to save them before they go to auction, right? Because at the auction, it's going to be competition, right? Depending on where you live. Atlanta, y'all got a lot of competition in Atlanta, right? These big Florida, Texas, y'all got a lot of competition. So that's how the mentorship was kind of started, just teaching them how to. It's not a wholesaling course. It isn't before anybody. It's not a wholesaling course. We offer assistance first. And then if they need to sell, then of course you help them sell, or, you know, you might can get the property for yourself, basically. A bag of chips is $7. You're right. I told y'all on one of my videos, if you're the mentorship, all my courses, they're all in the links. I told y'all I was in the grocery store the other day, right? And I'm in the freezer department. It's a lady in the freezer department, right? When I walked by her, she got like a bag of chicken in her hand, right? I said this on a video. Bag of chicken in her hand, staring at it. And I'm like, okay, she looking at the chicken. I go around, right? Get my creamer, get my eggs that cost a whole chicken, come back around, y'all. That lady's still standing there with that bag of chicken in her hand. And I was like, I understand, ma'am. You over here making life decisions in the frozen freezer section, right? You probably trying to decide, do I buy this big family pack of chicken, or do I buy the smaller pack and put this on my utilities or my credit card? Or because I was like, this might be the week that your kids decide that they don't eat chicken this week, right? And she was standing there and you could tell she was probably trying to contemplate her budget, how much money she had in her bank account. Like people making real life decisions in the frozen freezer section. Hey, Kevin. Kevin from Detroit, the Motor City. Kevin's in my mentorship, you guys. Life decisions in the frozen freezer section, you guys. Like, I looked at her, I was about to be like, Kathy, I understand, right? I understand. Because your kids might decide that they vegan this week, right? So, I get it. Like, the price of everything is high. But when you watch the news, it's like everything is fine. Consumers have money. Y'all still have stimulus money. Who still got stimulus money? I keep hearing that. I keep hearing people say, you know, people just ran out of stimulus money. I'm like, people ain't had stimulus money since COVID, right? Like, but people are so far removed, right? And then we got to think about, not that I follow, you know, this is not a red blue channel, right? But they're up there trying to figure out who gonna run the party, the Republican Party, right? Y'all, I'm not red or blue or anything. My point is, remember, they just got an extension to keep the government open for 45 days. Y'all not even discussing us down here. Y'all trying to figure out who gonna run y'all's sugar honey iced tea show, right? Y'all trying to figure that out. I need y'all to focus on what's going on down here, because we got 45 days, and if the government shuts down, that's people's, you know, that's military money. That's people don't get paid. People get furloughed. Like, I need y'all to focus on what's going on down here while y'all trying to work out what's going on up there. Because it doesn't seem like they're really trying to agree on anybody. But what do I know? I'm down here, right? Who knows? Anyway, life decisions. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your input on that. Yeah, and I was commenting on that. Yeah, a bag of chips is $7. And Kevin, yes, I was just talking about the mentorship, Kevin, how it got started and all that kind of stuff. Kevin's a big real estate investor in Detroit, in the Motor City, you guys. Yeah. You guys, how long? Yeah, I've already been talking. It's 9 o'clock, you guys. Some of you, Kevin, it's 10 o'clock where y'all are. You guys, y'all know I get on here and it turns into a telethon, right? Like, it turns into me just talking all night. And I swear I just talk, and then I look and I'm like, dang, it's been 70 minutes already, you guys. The course have everything. Oh yeah, okay, so the auction accelerator, that's for people who, if you're going to the auction, like today, remember I talked about, make sure you buy the correct lien at the auction. If you are going to the auction, you guys, if you plan on going, get the course. Like, and I'm not saying that because it's like, it's me, but y'all know me, right? Like I put everything in that course. I teach you where to find properties, right? Where to find the auction properties. I teach you where to find the pre-foreclosures for everybody who want to get to the properties before they go to auction. I gave y'all my secret tips on that. I teach you how to do a title search, you guys. Like literally walk you through properties. And it's not me saying, look for this link. It's me screen sharing the records and deeds office saying, this is what a first lien looks like. Look for these, look for MTG for mortgage, look for warranty deed, look for, like, I take you through that. Then I teach you how to calculate repairs because you can't see the inside of properties, you guys. So you got to figure out how to calculate that. I give you a repair calculator, a budget, you put it in, it tells you how much you need to bring to the auction. I list all 50 cities of where you find your public records and deeds. I give you every single thing. Everything. I give you everything. Tell you how to buy your, like, I mean, I poured out like my whole brain in that, like 16 resources, PDFs, calculators, everything. So the link is below. Link is below. I think it's a code on it. Thank you. It's the coupon code. It's linked below. I am your auction mama. I am, because ain't nobody else telling y'all. Let me just be honest. Let me just be honest. This is why I made this channel. This is why there's 200 videos. Yep, all states. All states. I made it wherever you are. You can find auctions wherever you live, right? All of them. Y'all, I just knew, like I said, I auctioned off properties for $500 and literally nobody was at the auction with me. Like, I'm calling like my investors and I'm like, somebody needs to get here with $501 right now. But it's opportunities that nobody knows about. Like, the auction is still really hush hush. Nobody, they don't want you to know, right? If I asked y'all, where is the next auction? What property is going up? What time is it going up? What's the opening bid? 9 times out of 10, y'all could not tell me that. You literally could not. Most people are like, well, I heard they auction off at the courthouse. That's literally all most people know. So I'm like, let me share with you, since I'm like an insider. Let me share. And that's how I made this channel for y'all. I've got 200 videos on YouTube to teach you how to bid at the auction, right? That's why my video is usually number 1 or 2 on YouTube for how to buy a house at the auction, right? I just had to teach y'all because we're all, you guys, we're all trying to retire nicely, right? We're all trying to catch this next window of opportunity when whatever happens, happens, right? That's, we all, like, I'm telling y'all, you can come on here and it's going to be waves crashing in the background and you're going to be like, Ashley, where are you? And I'm going to say, I'm at my beach house in Florida that I got in foreclosure. Don't mind the waves. Just ignore the waves, right? I'm telling you. Y'all, today I heard Florida, y'all are high on the default list. Florida always gets hit though. Florida was the epicenter of the last crash. And they said it's going to be the epicenter of this crash too. Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, like y'all got some, it's rough in Florida and San Antonio and Austin, Texas. That's what they're predicting. So, I just had a seller accept my offer on an REO property. Do I have to take out a mortgage or is the money I offered is all I pay? So that's, look, that's going to depend. What did you offer? You don't have to tell me what you offered, but so do I have to take out a mortgage or is the money I offer? Do you have the money like that you offered, or do you need to take out a mortgage to pay them that accepted offer? That makes sense? Whatever that accepted offer is, do you have it in cash already, legal cash, or do you need a loan? If you don't have it, then yeah, you need to get a loan, right? They give you 30 days and all that kind of stuff, right? So if you need to get a loan, get one is what I'm saying. Okay, so that's up to you. Totally up to you. You pay whatever that contract price is. So when you buy an REO, it's like buying traditional. They're going to send you through a closing attorney, escrow, all that. So there will be like closing fees and things like that, unless it was like negotiated in the deal. So your closing attorney will tell you exactly how much cash you have to bring or how much you have to wire to the bank, right? It's like a traditional, um, it depends on who you went through, but usually it's traditional, especially if it's an REO. So if you don't want to spend your cash, you don't have to. If you want to get a mortgage or something like that, you can. Up to you. Up to you. They don't care with an REO as long as they get whatever the offer is accepted. Pay how you want to pay is what I'm saying. You guys, anything? Did I miss any questions? We're going on 75 minutes, you guys. I will come back on here tomorrow. Maybe I'll hop on here tomorrow, midday. Y'all subscribe to the channel and then you'll get an alert, like if I hop on here or something like that. I plan on coming back on here tomorrow. What time tomorrow? I don't know. I have a mentorship meeting Sunday. I'll be back on here this weekend, you guys. So follow, subscribe to the channel. I'm on Instagram, Your Agent Ashley on Instagram, you guys. That's where I am. I guess that's it. I've talked long enough on your Friday night. Y'all might have plans. Your plans might just be to go to sleep because it might be late where you are. But I guess, you guys, that's it. Subscribe. Thank you for subscribing. Hit the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Like, isn't that the YouTube thing? You know, don't forget, you guys, subscribe, hit the notification, and like, comment, like, and subscribe. You guys do all the things. I will be back. Instagram, Your Agent Ashley. And I will be back. Let me make sure I don't have any more questions. You know, this is the hardest part of my live, is getting off the live is the hardest part because I keep looking and all that. It was 5,000. The property was on Zome. Okay, yeah. They said the agent will get back with me after Fannie Mae does it behind the scene deals. I'm confused and excited. Just hold positive thoughts. Good vibes to you. You got the property. Just wait until they get back to you. If you haven't, I mean, it's the weekend. They're not going to get back to you this weekend. So maybe Tuesday, reach out, see what's going on. You can send me a message. All good. If you need to, you know. But yeah, wait. Check in on Tuesday. You're not going to hear nothing over the weekend. Just know that. You're not. Tuesday. And then do that. But get your coins in order. Go drive by your new house. Yay. Okay, you guys. You got this. I just followed you. Thank you. I post on there all the time. So I'm getting off. You know how we do this when we get off. It's kind of like, no, you hang up. No, you hang up first. So on 3. Hey, Daniel. Daniel's another real estate investor, you guys. He got the course too. You guys, all these people got the course. You guys, I'm telling you, it's linked below. Great course. You're welcome. I am going to hang up the phone. And I will be back sometime this weekend. Just check back. I'll let you know. On 3, we're all going to hang up, you guys. Okay, you ready? 1, 2. Bye, you guys.